I actually think people are downplaying it a little. I'm like, you guys love it, but dude, this is top tier. This is some awesome shit.
Pizza time. Pizza time. Pizza time. You're late.
Pizza time.
Pizza time.
That was a weird voice. What was that? What was that?
Dude, you know what it is? It's like I've watched fucking 6 Scream movies in 2 days, and I can't stop doing the ghost voice.
First of all, I want to applaud, but I also want to chastise you a little bit about I watched 6 Scream movies in 2 days. Nobody told you to watch it in 6 days. We started talking about Scream 6 in January, and you said you were going to watch the Scream franchise, and I held you to it, and you're like, oh, I'm tired.
Okay. All right. Here's the thing. I'm a procrastinator.
Yeah, we all know that. That's for sure.
I know it's a new thing with people, but especially with millennials, procrastination. What can I say? Yeah, I know. You're right. I'm not gonna lie to you. When you threw that at my face, I'm like, what? I thought it was like 2 weeks ago that I said that, and I was like, thought back about it. I'm like, oh no, shit, you're right. I did say that like 3 months ago.
We have.
I get it. It's my fault. I get it. That being said, I at least enjoyed myself through it, and we'll talk about it later. But
how's your sleep? How
it's been fucking terrible. Let me take here. This will be a good tee up to what this episode today is at least half about. I spent the last 2 days straight just watching Scream and then catching up on three idiots for our Indian cinema thing, which was basically 3 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours and 50 minutes was the runtime of that.
Correct. Movie. So I've basically been watching a movie perpetually for 2 days, aside from
48 hours
from sleeping. Yes, but I'm alive. I'm here to do it, wonderful. And I'm happy about it at least. And I get to do the voice.
Well, that's a terrible voice, but
I know it's not like Roger L. Jackson was his name. Yeah,
is that
great voice? I think it's like Roger L. Jackson, something like that. Roger L. Jackson.
Voice
what a voice!
So iconic.
It's so iconic. Yeah, it's so iconic.
Love it.
I'm more iconic now than after I had watched it. I was like, oh man, yeah, that is the. Why is no one doing this more during Halloween?
Yeah.
You know,
because that would probably freak some people out.
Yeah, especially with like current AI voice modulation. Whoo! Which they started apparently. Anyways, we'll go into that later. Go ahead.
Okay,
please.
we'll go into that later. But yes, we'll get into our Scream. Well, actually, Scream overview, and then our Scream 6 review that came out in theaters this past Friday on March 10th. And yes, we have our review and our thoughts on that movie. I'm, if you don't know, I'm a very big Scream franchise guy. It's probably my favorite slasher series, but we'll talk about that more later. Before we get to that, we also have our 3 Idiots review coming up after our Scream 6 review, but that's a separate video. But for now, we're going to jump right into some news for the week, and we start with our old friend, Bob Iger. Bob Iger did an interview with Bloomberg, I believe, Bloomberg Business, and he had a lot to say about the current state of the franchises. And you know what? I want to start with Star Wars. So Bob Iger actually said that they are going to reevaluate their Star Wars movies and take them more carefully going forward after the failure of Solo. He puts the Star Wars franchise being paused on the failure of Solo. Ed, what do you think about that? Do you think that's fair, or do you think that's a little unfair because he doesn't want to blame what we all know the real problem was?
Well, no. Okay, first, I do think it's fair because his statement is fair. Well, I think it's fair because I don't believe he's saying that Solo was necessarily a bad movie. We all know why Solo didn't perform, and that's because of the Star Wars fatigue and hate that the original not the original trilogy, the what's the last? What do we call them? No, what's the recent trilogy? Whatever you call it, the modern trilogy. The sequels. Oh yeah, there we go. The sequels. The sequel trilogy. That it was from that. It was an offshoot of that. People were and yeah, sure, you can call it like, do we really want to see a young Han Solo? It was just not interesting. Sure, that too. But I believe it was far from the fact that the Solo movie itself was bad. We have said that the Solo movie is great. Yeah. And I've never really heard anybody saying like they hate the Solo movie. But I think it's a complete offshoot of just fatigue. Yeah. And so yeah, I mean, as I'm saying it, is it fair? I don't think it's as accurate as it could be of a statement, but I also don't think it's an inaccurate statement.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
I agree with that. I think that I guess I disagree because I think it's a little unfair to blame it on Solo. Because again, the more people I talk to, the more people I speak with, and again, I didn't watch Solo, so I shouldn't be the one disagreeing with you because I didn't give my money to support that movie. I didn't watch Solo until Ed told me to watch it, and this was before we had a podcast. This was years before this. He said, "No, dude, go watch it," and he was like on the Solo train. That's funny.
Nice.
But yeah, so and I watched it, I was like, geez, this movie's great. And I think Solo's better than any other sequel movie we've gotten. Maybe not The Force Awakens. Maybe The Force Awakens has it beat just based on nostalgia.
As an encapsulated thing.
Yeah.
I love The Force Awakens. Yeah, it's probably the best thing. Yes, 100%.
Yeah. So for me, I think this is Iger playing the smart game. Solo, it flopped. The other movies made $1 billion. They're not going to say
that's what I'm saying.
It
made money. If you want to talk about monetary, of course, then yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but
then I guess you can, right? Can you? I mean, to blame again. I'm not sure if he's blaming Solo, but
no, he said after the failure of Solo, like for me, it was the failure of good storytelling in the sequels is why you have lost fans.
I agree, but it's also facts.
Solo.
No, I guess I agree with you, but it's also facts. I mean, again, if you want to go monetary, it didn't perform well at all. Yeah, so then it failed. I mean, it is what it is. It failed at the box office.
That's a good point. Monetarily, it is a bit of a failure. But
everything else did well.
Rogue One. This news came in line with more news that Kevin Feige's sequel, Star Wars movie, is scrapped. Patty Jenkins' movie is officially scrapped. Taika Waititi's movie is most likely scrapped. That all came out during this interview. So Ed, little bit of theory here. When do you think we see another Star Wars movie? And what do you think it's going to be? Or do we ever see another Star Wars movie for 10 years?
Any like the numbered movies or just any Star Wars movie?
Just any Star Wars movie.
Yeah, I think we're gonna probably see. I don't think we're gonna wait that long. Like, I don't think we're gonna be out of that galaxy for like 4-5 years. I'd be surprised if it was even 3. I would say in the next like maybe 2 years we could see at least one Star Wars movie. At least one. Wow. I think. Well, it depends on what it is. A numbered Star Wars movie, no, right? A mainline Star Wars movie, hell no. That is going to take at least 5 years.
Absolutely.
But I don't know, old Knights of the Old Republic, or what are we talking about? Rogue Squadron, like stuff like that. I can maybe see.
Flopped. That movie's scrapped. Rogue Squadron is scrapped.
Well, okay, fine. If the movie's, I was thinking maybe Patty Jenkins was out, but if the movie's scrapped,
Kevin Feige, those movies are scrapped. They're done. So it's just like I don't know when we see another one. For me,
maybe at least 3 years. 3?
Yeah, I think it might be longer. I think it's more dependent on what Marvel and Disney Animation are able to accomplish over the next few years.
I guess so, but like, is it a matter of like what level is Star Wars and Marvel to each other on the Disney platter? Because if they're, I don't know, I'm not assuming, but if they are more or less on the same, like kind of looked at the same level, can they really go that long without a Star Wars movie? Can they go that long? I don't know.
How long has it been?
What was the last one? Rise of Skywalker still? Was that the last one?
Yeah, Rise of Skywalker. I remember when it came out. Give me 2 seconds.
And well, again, pandemic. So that was 2019.
No, 2019. It was before the pandemic.
No, I know. I'm saying, and then there was a pandemic. There wasn't. I mean, I bet money we would have seen Squadron by now or something like that.
It's 2023, man, and there's nothing on the slate this year, and there's nothing announced for next year. So that's 19, 20, 21.
Maybe you're right.
Maybe you're right. 5 years.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it might be 4 to 5 years. You're right. I'm just surprised. I'm dead surprised. I thought really thought maybe we would see something by at least the next 2 years.
My guess is the earliest we see it, dude, is 2026. Maybe.
Wow.
Maybe. Because
3 years.
I think they want to see what Disney's obviously on like thin ice right now because they've been everything from their theme parks is losing money, or I guess not making as much money as they should be. I'm not sure if they're losing money. That probably isn't the best way to put that. But like theme parks kind of down on money, and then we just said last week, every Marvel movie that's come out, minus Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness, has not met box office expectations.
Right.
So, you know, I feel like they're just going to take their time here and try to figure out what's the best next step. Is it a Skywalker saga, which I hope it's not.
Oh my God, please no.
Because the only way you go is Rey Skywalker.
No, we're done. I think they're smart enough to. Kathleen Kennedy's out.
Supposedly.
I think. Well, yeah.
After Indy, she's supposedly out.
It better follow through. I don't know if that's gonna do well in the press if somehow she's still there. But she's out. I'm thinking all of that scrap. They know they fucked that up. They know they fucked that up. I mean, again, Rise of Skywalker came in rotten on the tomato meter. Critics did not like that at all. So
it is rotten. You're right.
Oh yeah. People did not like that. Right. So I think they're going to learn from the mistake. Clearly, they're learning from the mistakes here. They're axing a lot of things that just didn't go well. I mean, the fact that they axed Patty Jenkins, I thought was really surprising. Again, you know, in this day and age, I feel like you would not do that. But they did it, and so I'm like, okay, that's what we wanted. We didn't want that. So.
Patty Jenkins, rough couple months.
Rough couple of that turned quick. When Wonder Woman came out, dude, she was on top of the fucking world.
Everybody wanted to hire.
Everybody wanted to hire this chick. 84 comes out. Woo! They wanted to drop her quicker than a soccer ball at a soccer game. That's an accurate thing.
It's I think. So crazy. But yeah, so that's that Star Wars news and Lucasfilm news. So it'll be interesting to see how Star Wars happens, just from like the standpoint of, you know, when is the next movie? Like, sure, the Mandalorian, all that stuff, and you know, other than the Mandalorian, I don't think any Star Wars show has actually been good. I could have lived without
even the Mandalorian. Even the Mandalorian's starting to show some creaks.
Somewhere, the second episode of Mandalorian wasn't great.
They're not talking about this. No one's really talking about the show anymore.
No, it's really fallen out. And like, look, Boba Fett and Obi-Wan weren't even in the top 10 of most streamed shows of last year, which is
because they were trash,
crazy. But it's a Star Wars show, so I don't know. For me, what I'd like to see out of Star Wars is something. I want to go like 500 years in the future,
right,
or 500 years in the past, before the Skywalkers or after the Skywalkers.
I've said this. I don't want to see. I want to do something completely different. I'd be actually okay with like getting rid of the Jedi and the Sith. You know what I mean? Like let's go to another time, in another galaxy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally like different fucking playground and stakes. New
planets. No more Tatooine.
Let's try something truly new. You know, still in the same rough universe. You can still have lightsabers or whatever the fuck, but let's get rid of we're done. I don't want to visit Tatooine again. I'm done with Tatooine. And
Star Wars fans want that.
Yeah, I think so.
Do they?
I think I think we need to usher in a new time where it's like,
I agree with you, but Star Wars fans want that.
I think those guys. I think people in general will like things that are good, and it's a risk, but fuck it. Take the risk now. You fucked it up.
Yeah,
just take it. Take it now. Why take it later? Take it now.
It's a brilliant point. Take the risk now because you've already fucked it up, and that brings us to our next topic, Marvel. Bob Iger was talking about Marvel, and
who thought that transition was going to be in the name of with the use of the name Marvel? Wow.
So he has said, I think it's in the best interest of Marvel's studios to rethink the trilogy. The trilogy
phases?
No, not the phases, but like rethink trilogies.
Rethink trilogies
at 2. Not do, stop at Thor: The Dark World, but we would have never gotten Thor Ragnarok.
I see. Like in the single.
Yeah.
I see.
Ant-Man 3, stop it. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Which is it's a very interesting thing because it's just like, well, some of the third movies are the best movies. Spider-Man: No Way Home, the best one.
Oh, is that the fourth one?
That's the third.
No, that's the third one. My bad. What was I thinking? There was another Sorry, keep going.
Because there's been like 8 Spider-Man movies.
I guess so. Yeah, I thought that was
the. So he's saying this in a year where you have 2 part 3s coming out. You have Guardians Part 3, and you already had Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania come out. So I just want to. What do you think of Iger's comments on that? And it goes in line with Iger kind of saying that we are slowing down a lot. And there's a rumor that I want to live you into, but I want to get your comments on that first. On Iger's stopping at 2. What do you think about that?
It's weird, a weird. Right? It's a weird comment. Weird. It's a weird thing to bring up. I don't understand.
Neither do I.
It's not a bad comment. It's like doesn't have a place and sort of like what people are wondering about. The idea of not needing to go to trilogies for the solo movies.
Right.
I don't know. In favor of like what does he think that's gonna fix? Like that's just less movies or something?
I think that's it. I think Iger at the moment is thinking pure cash flow and profit and all that stuff. And I think he's thinking, look, these movies cost a lot of money. Maybe we stop at 2. Maybe we don't need to go revisit Thor for his 3rd adventure. Maybe we don't need to go visit the Guardians for the 3rd adventure.
Well, too late now, but
okay. It's such a weird.
I don't understand that.
When you have, I mean, Jesus, you have like 13 films already phased out, announced, and unless you start canceling stuff, plus God knows how many shows, Ed. You have so many shows already announced and slated. So like, it's a weird thing to say.
It's a really weird thing to say. Yeah, no, it's odd. It's super odd.
Yeah.
Like I'm not understanding the reasoning behind that in the general. Is it maybe it's to prep us to now in the future not expect trilogies, or
maybe
it's a prepping statement, or it's I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. It's
in line with that. So when after he said this, I guess credible sources, people who are in the know, they basically said they're not sure Echo ever sees the light of day anymore. But it also came back with the biggest one is Secret Wars has been delayed until 2028.
Good.
That's a hell. So are these comments him kind of saying we're going to slow down? Is this all in preparation? Like, are we going to get to Comic-Con and then it's just boom, here's all these delays. You're not going to see, it's not going to be like this.
Bro, 2008?
28, yeah.
Oh, 2028. So from 2026, right, was the original date?
Yes.
Damn, 2 full years? Love it.
Because 2025 was King Dynasty, and they're saying that's going to get pushed to 2027.
Fucking fix it. Right on. Fucking fix all this shit. Yes.
Yeah.
Do it.
That's what you have to do, right?
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. I want to be 38 and happy.
Same.
I want to be 38 and happy.
A great way
I want to see another Endgame properly done with characters I love and not characters I could give a shit less about. Let's fix this.
For me, Ed,
let's do it.
It's super like that's a great rumor to hear, even though it's like a long delay, like a really long delay.
I don't mind it.
It kind of solidifies that. I'm sure some people are going to try to defend it, but it solidifies that Phase 4 was a waste of time. If you have to delay those movies that long to make sure the setup is done right, then you wasted a whole phase. That's all. It's purposeless.
Well, yeah, obviously.
I mean, we already know that. We
already feel it.
Feel that.
Yeah,
but,
we feel it.
You know, even Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, you're kind of like, well, what was the point of it?
Yeah.
Like, we're getting so we're spinning our wheels in mud here, man.
It is interesting. See, this is what's the weird contradiction of Phase 4 that I've been feeling is that they've had so much properties out in the last 2 years, like more than in terms of hours, right? It's been more than even Phase 3, or is it Phase 3 entirety combined or something like that, right?
More than
like
that,
so much hours of and frames of the MCU in the last 2 years. You would think like that the stories would be on the same trajectory, and yet every time they have a main movie come out, it's like being held back. Like the story hasn't progressed that much at all. It's such a weird contradiction. I just don't really understand. And I know it just goes to show. I think I guess they just really didn't plan it out. They obviously didn't. Would they really have that fucking 2-week summit, whatever they did? where they were like in saunas and spas, like trying to figure out the rest of the phases or whatever. No, I'm just assuming that. It sounds awesome, is what I'm saying. I'd want to be there. But would they had done that if they didn't think that they really need to fix this shit? Like, oh crap, okay, look, pandemic was like, we had a grocery list that we needed to get out quick because we don't know what the fuck's gonna happen when we get out of this thing. And now they're like, well, the world's back to kind of normal now. I guess we can let's fix this too. I don't know.
Right. I really wonder, like, do you think they didn't plan it out, or do you think they just are just completely overestimated what they were capable of? Like, which do you think? Because like you just said, oh, they didn't plan out phase 4, or just it didn't work. Which one was it? Do you think they just rushed into phase 4, or that, hey, they thought it was going to work? They thought She-Hulk was going to be great. Like, they thought Miss Marvel was going to be a smash. They thought WandaVision was going to be amazing. But I
think it's both. I mean, it's pretty clear, right? It's pretty clear that it was both, because there's a very purposeful push for those shows. Yeah. Women front superhero shows that they knew they wanted to get out. I mean, Jesus Christ, they have a whole hour of Empower, which is like the biggest cringe thing I've seen this month.
It's like the most voted down video on YouTube, behind the Little Mermaid teaser trailer, which
we're done. Wokeness is dying, which is great.
Yes, absolutely.
Which is great. I'm so happy.
I have friends who I never thought would be coming to me and saying stuff because of this podcast. And we've said this before, but like more and more every week. Dude, I completely agree with you. I'm sick of this in movies. Again, so go ahead. No,
anyways, to answer your original question, it's like, I think it was both. I think it really also was. I really think it was a lot of it had to do with the pandemic. The pandemic fucked everything up. I know we keep hitting Marvel, we do, but everything fucked up. Everything, not what was like perfect out of the pandemic. Nothing. Everyone was scrambling for shit. And so again, it's I think the pandemic was a huge thing in everyone's lives. And I think during that whole time, they needed to figure out, like, okay, here's like a bit of a basis, but also at the same time, they were just moving shit around every day, I think.
Yes.
I honestly think that's what everyone was doing. Constant change. And like, how does that, of course, that's going to affect scripts. That's going to affect like, well, I bet you every fucking movie we saw had to change their third act completely. Well, that's pretty, you
got a good point, because the writers of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, they said the original ending was actually supposed to be the bad Doctor Strange coming back and our Doctor Strange getting stuck in that incursion world. And he said that Doctor Strange was the guy who was going to do the spell No Way Home.
Let's go, son.
Remember, we all had those thoughts saying there's no way our Doctor Strange would do that because he's not that stupid.
Yeah.
But the writer straight said it wasn't us, it was Sony. Sony said, we're releasing our movie this December, period. We want this movie to come out. We know what it's going to do. And they were right. Look, it went and grossed like 1.6 billion. Good for them. But, hey, you do have a point about the pandemic fucking stuff up.
There's that too, there's a lot more outside forces wanting to get into Marvel now, being connected, right? Remember back then, Feige had a very distinct boundary to work with.
And nobody wanted to do it.
No, nobody wanted to do it. But see, like with a lot of things, people need boundaries. It's good to have boundaries because then you get to some of the cool, most creative stuff comes out of, pressure. Like, we can't have rights to the Hulk for fucking 15 years, I guess, apparently. And like, look, you make it work. You find an amazing actor. You flesh out his character in those little moments we have with him. We fucking fall in love with him. So, but now, there was that deal with Sony. There's a lot of these other deals happening. All these characters they feel like they need to use. The world actually opened up so much wider after Endgame for them. There's so much things to use, unlike before where they had 3 characters like to use. Yeah, and maybe something happens. Yeah. So all of that, man. So whatever.
Well, it's just a lot of interesting comments from the Disney CEO, who definitely I mean, he used to work close with Feige. I'm sure he still does now. And it all starts pointing to, for us Marvel fans, and I'm on the brink here. Like, obviously I've said this year doesn't matter to me, but next year needs to hit. It needs to hit hard. You got properties I really care about in Daredevil and
Daredevil, yeah,
and Captain America.
I'm sorry, bro. I don't know. I'm feeling kind of bad about Daredevil already, but
I'm feeling iffy about Daredevil too. I'm a little worried. But hey, John Bernthal's coming back. He's one of my favorite
good move
characters that I've ever seen portray a character. He said he wouldn't come back unless it was dark enough to portray him. So he must have read something and said, "I'm in."
Okay, good.
So yeah, but anyway, Marvel fans are wavering. And saying this kind of stuff is all the right things to say because it's all pointing to we're going to slow it down. We see our errors, and we're gonna get it fixed. But
absolutely,
that's Marvel. Well, Marvel's on a downswing. Good old one of the old bastions of Hollywood, Paramount, is on the upswing.
Very much so.
You would not have said that over a year ago. Today, you definitely would not have. But they had Top Gun Maverick. Paramount Plus is doing really good. They got some fun shows. Really good. But more importantly, they have Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Amongst Thieves. The review embargo has already lifted. It premiered at South by Southwest last night. And Ed, I'm going to read you some first reactions
to this
movie because it just seems like this movie is going to be everything we hope for and more. Honor Among Thieves plays like an old-fashioned fantasy adventure, led by a cast who understands that if they're having fun with you, the audience will have fun as well. Pine is fueled of humor in this in this movie. Handsome settings, high-stake action at every turn, and a beloved board game comes to life for the first time ever. Eric Davis, our boy, who just
let's say what the big D. Let's go.
The new Dungeons and Dragons is a whole lot of fun. Once you settle into the world, it turns out to be one of the most entertaining fantasy films I've ever seen. Great characters, wild quests, crazy creatures. It's very funny. Big recommend from me. Also, he wants to know, he does not play Dungeons and Dragons, and he never has. He doesn't understand the references, and he still loved it. Fans of all kinds will be able to love this movie.
Yes.
So pretty much Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Amongst Thieves is an old school fantasy adventure movie led by Chris Pine. It's hard not to be charmed off your pants by him. Dungeons and Dragons is a lot of fun, it's all it's really interested in doing. Dungeons and Dragons is not interested in telling a deep story with a deeper meaning. It's just interested in being charming and a whole lot of fun. Listen, Ed, we were excited about this movie. What are your thoughts about all these reactions coming out? It's 100% on the Rotten Tomato.
It is, right? With I think right now it's at 9 reviews.
Yeah, only 9.
Each one, only 9, but still, that's a really strong start particularly for this movie. Yes. That could have easily been something that's like easily pushed aside as a B-side stupid movie. Dude, the first time we saw that trailer, we both flipped up. We were like, "What the fuck? What is this? I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry, Paramount Plus. I didn't know you had some side big guns, secret big guns on the side. What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
And then every single trailer that comes out after that, the TV spots, the clips I've been seeing, I've been in absolute adoration of this thing. I look at each facet and I go, "This looks like fucking fun, dude." Yeah. The CGI is incredible. It's funny. Again, these are just from the small snippets. And then, of course, this comes out.
Yeah.
And you got just critics going, really, they're loving it. They're straight up loving it. All these reviews are very much on the, they're not middling reviews. They're like, "I really like this movie."
Yeah.
To like, this thing is amazing.
Yeah.
And how do you think I'm supposed to react like that for us? Of course, I'm fucking thrilled. I cannot wait. Let's fucking do this, dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just reading all this is so pumped.
So happy.
So it comes from the duo that directed probably one of the freshest comedies, I think, in my opinion, we've seen in years, Game Night. The same guys, John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein are the guys
The
that directed
irony.
this movie. They were attached to direct The Flash, and they ended up leaving, by the way.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and Andy Muschietti took it over. So it's partially their film, by the way.
Good moves done. Good moves happened. Apparently,
it's been announced by Warner Bros. That Ezra will not be on the press tour and will have a very, very limited.
Good.
Probably for the best. Anyway,
smart move.
Smart move. But yeah, I agree with you, man. Everything we've seen from this movie, in terms of like, especially like the CGI, has just been impressive. Like, I don't know when they started filming this movie. I don't know when they started the CGI for this movie, but I see it and I just go, that looks great. Yeah. Why does that look so good? Who's doing it?
It looks way better than it should. Yes. It has any right to be.
That's the tagline for this movie. Way better than it has any right to be, dude. It
probably will be.
Yeah, and look, Chris Pine in a fantasy adventure sci-fi movie. Look, if you loved him as Kirk and you miss him as Kirk, this is probably a good hole filler for us.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Who knows if we ever get to see him again as James T. Kirk?
I hope so.
Anytime I just want to watch a movie or put on a trilogy for a few hours while I'm like, fixing something in the kitchen or something like that, I put on that Star Wars trilogy.
Star Trek.
Oh, sorry. Oh my God. Oh,
watch out.
Don't come after me. We were talking Star Wars earlier. Star Trek is better than Star Wars, by the way. Anyway.
It is.
It absolutely
I'm sorry.
is. Yeah,
just is.
After these sequels, this batch of sequels, Star Trek is 100% better.
Yeah.
By the way, the original Wrath of Khan, get the fuck out of my face. That's one of the best movies of all time.
100%. So good.
Yes. Anyway, back to Dungeons and Dragons. This just makes me so happy. And it goes to a point, dude, that you were saying before we started. This year is going to be great.
Yeah, man.
Already how great has this year been? I mean, we kick it off with Baton. Megan was wonderful. By the way, Puss in Boots: Last Wish is streaming on Peacock. If you've not seen that movie, that is the best animated film, like children's animated film, that I have seen in 10 years.
Wow.
It trumps anything Disney has done. Trumps so much. It is the most enjoyable, actually well-meaning Puss in Boots film. Like you just don't expect it to be as good. The animation is gorgeous. It's something that's different, and it has just such a wonderful story to tell. We have to talk about it fully, but if you have Peacock subscribers, go watch it. It is fantastic. I don't know what the hell Disney's doing. They say they hire the best talent, but clearly not, because DreamWorks is just smashing it. That doesn't include Spider-Verse. I don't count Spider-Verse as a kids movie because I think it's more of an adult movie. I like it.
No, I hear you. Yeah,
okay,
no,
cool.
I get that. I get that. I can. I understand what you're saying.
Please watch Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
I'm gonna watch it.
Eyes. Anyway, back to Dungeons and Dragons again. This is just
it's good news.
Great. Like all these movies coming out this year, we've had so much fun at the theater already. I don't know how you feel about Scream 6, but I was Scream 6 in theaters. We'll find out. Yeah, but like, man, got Shazam next week. Who knows if it's gonna be good? I don't know.
And you know what? The fact that all this stuff is coming out, dude. Again, we've already said this, but I think wokeism is dying. I think it's pretty clear that at least in the last year and a half or so, people have have maybe seen a little bit down the road, and they're like, this woke stuff's not working.
Yeah,
let's go back to just having fun.
Let's have fun. Yeah.
And you got this coming out. You got Chapter 4. You got Super Mario Brothers movie. You got what's after that? Oh, Shazam's coming in between there somewhere, which I've heard.
Evil Dead Rise is coming out in April.
Like all these great movies that seemingly aren't about that messaging shit. So I think it's looking like a great fucking year.
We haven't even gotten to summer yet. We still have Spider-Verse 2. We still have Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning.
Oppenheimer.
We'll be back to the site. Oppenheimer. There is Kraven the Hunter, which could be a really fun time led by Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah, Fast X is going to be a pile of shit, but I mean, whatever.
We're going to go watch it anyway because we're gluttons for punishment. We love that shit.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something else. I'm not gonna say that.
I'm in a good mood. I'll say this. I'm in a good mood. I'm in a great mood that I would even go out to watch Fast fucking X after this chain of amazing movies. I just want to go to the movie theaters and have a good time. That's all I want to do. I will fucking take the bullet for Fast X and do that.
So I hadn't actually seen this Dungeons and Dragons trailer that played in the theater yesterday when watching Stream 6. And it had that clip at the very end of it where they're asking the dead man questions.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen that clip, go
so
look
good.
It up.
So
because
funny.
if you're on the fence of this movie, go watch that clip and you'll be convinced to go see it. But dude,
so good.
That everybody was laughing so hard at that clip when they're asking the dead man questions.
Yeah.
Chris Pine and just
Chris Pine, dude.
Chris Pine can
the way he delivers,
movie.
Dude. The way he delivers that shit is he's so great. And I mean, look, I love him. I think this is his thing though.
Yeah.
You know, he's so, again, you said earlier, he's just so good at these adventure films where he's not like less dramatic and just where his comedic chops can shine, his face can shine because he's just such a great, I just want to look at him all the time.
That's what
he's charming.
That's why it works.
He's charming. Yeah, you don't want him to be the serious guy. You want him to be that dude who has the quips, you know.
Yeah.
Nathan Drake, I guess that would have been he would have been a nice Nathan Drake at this point.
God damn, that would have been a good Nathan Drake.
It's over.
Oh man,
it's so over.
Never thought about him.
He's just the right age. He's the right age still. You know, that would have been so good, man. Hey, I'm just looking for what's been given to me. It's all I'm saying. Anyways,
that's so we like Tom Holland.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Not as Nathan Drake, but we like Tom Holland.
Anyway, Dungeons and Dragons. Let's watch it. Let's go.
Let's go watch Dungeons and Dragons. Everyone should go watch it. We'll have a full review soon. Yes. Now we are going to jump into one last bit of news because this is going to hype Ed very quickly. Because I just want to get the one question. Let me get it out here. So
just me.
Test screenings have started for Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. The cut comes in at 3.5 hours. However, the test screenings have been so overwhelmingly positive. Paramount is reportedly at odds about what to do.
Yeah, major odds.
Ed, what say you?
It's a good problem to have, bro. Like, that's a great fucking problem.
3.5 hours, and people are like, "It's that good." Like, you're not tired of it? 3.5 hours?
I can only hope. I picture these motherfuckers like all in their own bathtub in a penthouse, and they're like this, and that's how they're having that's how they're arguing, like
just smoking cigars.
Guys, what are we gonna do? Yeah. What are we gonna do, guys? Fucking like getting their dick sucked by somebody underneath the water. Okay. Like, what do we do? Okay. We had a 3.5 hour movie, guys. Should we split it into 2? Should we cut it down? Should we? It's a good problem to have.
2. This is part 1 of 2.
I know, and yet it's still 3.5 hours long. This could have been 4 fucking movies at this point. Like, and you know, I was watching John Campia and Rob on that show, who I love. Rob made the great point, which I don't think is practical, but I'm at the same time, it's never really happened to me. It's very rare to hear this kind of story, right?
Super rare.
And he was like, "What if they just cut it in 2? I mean, it may not work. You know, like aside from the story, obviously they didn't probably make it for 2, but if there was a natural out, maybe in the middle, it's like." What if you could cut down a 3.5 hour movie, make that part 2, and now you have like fucking 4 movies to go? I thought that was a very interesting idea. I don't think. What say you? I don't know. I thought that was an interesting idea. Maybe they might. Could they do it? I don't know. Is that in the running? Do you think
that they? It is in the running. I think nothing's off the table because Tom Cruise, his star. I mean, it faded kind of a little bit. His star is back bigger than ever. But to me, I'll go watch a 3.5 hour movie.
Me too. I would too.
It's not really something that bugs me that much. Like we watched a 3 hour, and I feel like Avatar was 3 hour and 12 minutes.
It's 3:10, 3:05, 3:05 or 3:10.
So what's like 20 more minutes?
To some people, that's a lot. To some people, you're right though. Look what you're right though. 3:10, and it made $2 billion. Yeah, so clearly,
third gross.
Time is not exactly. Depending on the movie, if it's like an epic like that, like something like just such a spectacle, people will stay 3.5 hours apparently and watch it over and over again. Apparently, I would. But
my mother-in-law loves to make fun of me how many times I've watched Top Gun Maverick, but I watched it like 5
I
times
get
in
the same.
theaters, and like
Me too.
I never felt the runtime.
I want to watch that movie. If I could, I would watch that movie. Every time I watch the movie, I would watch it in a theater. Every time. I'm not do it.
For Top Gun Maverick.
See what happens. I challenge a theater to just have that movie perpetually going on forever. And I will go. You'll see me in there. You'll see me in there at least every 3 days, something like that.
How cool would it be to buy if Pizza Time ever got big enough to buy one of these like theaters that went out of business? And we said we just had
a Maverick room.
Yeah, we had the one Maverick room and then the so weekly funny. Something going on. That would be fucking fun, dude. I feel like theaters should do that, but they don't.
I think they should. They should have one theater that just kind of plays movies. Yeah. And maybe you don't even know what it is, right? That'd be kind of cool. It's just a question mark.
Yeah.
It's just a question mark, and you pay and you go in, and then hopefully, I mean, it'll be a good movie. Like, we're gonna curate it, and we think it's a good movie. So and you just sit down and watch it. You have no clue what it is. That would be so cool. Yeah. That would be so sick. We should totally do that if we ever buy a theater.
If we could ever. But one movie would be the Indian Cinema Room. One movie would be the Maverick.
Yeah. Room. Oh my god, dude. An Indian cinema or just like a sort of like a foreign, where people can just walk in. You don't know what it is.
Room, right? Like there could be an anime room because there's a big anime crowd out there.
Yeah, and then catch this.
Any anime, by the way.
How cool would it be? Is that you'd have to do this legally, but it's also pretty cool. You'd have to tell people at least what the rating of the movie is, right?
Right.
So R, PG-13, and that's all you can really know, and you check the pants. I mean, that's so cool.
That'd be dope.
That's a dope ass idea. Hey, you motherfuckers listening, do not take this fucking idea from us.
This is trademarked, by the way.
We love it.
I already patented it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we're good.
No guy
anyway,
knows.
Back to this Mission Impossible conundrum. I think it's more likely we see a 3-hour 15 cut of this movie somewhere. They figure out how to cut 15.
Yeah, more than likely.
But I'm fine with the 3.5-hour cut. The head of Paramount is the one who's very much not okay with it. He's saying it's way too long.
Less time in the theaters too, right?
Yeah.
There's that whole.
So again, when you think about it from a money perspective wise, right? 3.5 hours, that's way less money per showing,
of course. Yeah,
unless you're, it is. Because that's a long movie with crowds there. So,
but I do have a solution. For this though.
Okay.
They could make I think a 3.5-hour movie is fine. They can make their money back if AMC would fucking cut their goddamn trailers in half. It's too long.
God.
You think I'm joking? I'm fucking serious.
I had 30 minutes of trailers before Scream
6. I counted this time at Scream 6. I had like 25 minutes before I got to the movie. Imagine if they just cut that in half. How much more times you could fit in between? I mean, seriously, AMC, what the fuck? I know you have a deal with like the studios. I get it, but what the fuck? It's too long. Stop. And it's hurting you. No, you can see trailers on YouTube. Go fucking put a push to your YouTube to watch the trailers.
Yeah.
It's too many fucking trailers, and you can be making more money.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
The trailers are out of control.
I'm dead serious. You know how much 15 minutes of showing. See how quickly that'll add up and how much more time you can fit even a 3.5-hour movie.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
Whole other showing added.
Dude, swear to God. AMC, I love you, but still, Jesus.
Yeah. So again, I think you either release the movie as is. I didn't know you could. I hadn't heard the idea of cutting it down and putting it into 2 parts, but I guess that would split it into part 1, 2, 3, and 4. I feel like Tom Cruise is gonna be like, we're not doing that.
No, I don't think so either.
He's got a lot of pull at Paramount.
I also don't think narratively speaking that's probably going to work. I'm sure it's always about the not always, but a large part, obviously, the set pieces.
Yeah,
it would be a matter of like, which set piece do we leave? For this one, that one. Yeah. And I'm sure he wouldn't want to leave out any of them. So the
movie just cuts off when he's doing his motorcycle.
Yeah, right there.
6 months. Yeah,
everyone's like, "What the fuck?
Wait, what?" Yeah. So, to me, I think we'll see like a 3-hour Mission Impossible.
They'll cut it down. They'll cut it down.
Perfectly fine. I would release the full 3.5. I want to see the full 3.5.
I would too. But they'll cut it down to fucking Avatar length 305, 310. Because they're clearly that makes money. Like it'll be fine.
I'd say 315 because clearly it makes money.
I'm just happy there's a fucking another 3-hour Mission Impossible movie that's getting rave reviews. Where the problem is, I don't know what to do with how the greatness of this.
But to hear those test screenings again, like The Flash has had amazing test screenings, so our level for that is very high. But our level for Mission Impossible to be getting this good of reviews is, I think, astronomical.
Again, John Wick, 2 hours 50. I mark my word, it's gonna make fucking bonkers money at the box office.
It's gonna make less money because it's rated R. But yes.
Well, for its for a John Wick movie.
For a John Wick movie, it's gonna be breaking.
It's gonna do.
I mean, that movie came on. I mean, the trailer came on yesterday, and I was like, "Woke up this morning." Oh, so good. God, dude,
I can't wait, man.
I can't wait.
I can't wait for you to see that movie, dude.
Yeah, I forgot Ed's seen it. I haven't.
I cannot wait for you to see it.
I'm very excited about that. And then Shazam next week. But continuing with the Paramount trend, we're gonna jump into our Scream 6 review time on Pizza Time.
Review time.
Ed, what's your favorite pizza?
My favorite. Okay, that's a great question. I'm happy. Comments. Okay, my favorite. Pizza from a particular chain or a type of pizza?
Like what the type of pizza? Like do you
okay. I'm a pepperoni mozzarella guy. That has to be the base. Like the base level pizza always has to be there, right? Okay. So pepperoni, cheese, the sauce. Then I like to add some sausage. I'm a big sausage guy. Olives. Okay, I know. I know, but you know what kind of food I can eat. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Olives. All right. If they have it, banana peppers. Okay.
I'm a big sausage guy.
And a pineapple. I'm a pineapple guy.
Oh no.
Yeah. I'm a pineapple guy. It's delicious. It's sweet. Got a little bit of sourness. I'm a range guy. I like having a range of flavors. So that's like my, no, I don't care for fucking cheese in the crust. I don't like that. It's too much. That's too much for me. By the time I get to that, I feel like I have an obligation that I don't like.
I just want bread.
Yeah, I don't like that. Yeah. So that's my type pizza. What's yours?
Buffalo chicken. Buffalo chicken pizza.
Hey,
it's my go-to.
I hear you.
I'm getting it.
I hear you. It's a great pizza. Yeah. With the ranch on it, or with the ranch on the side? Like what? On it. Yeah.
On it, like baked into it.
My guy. Solid pizza.
Anyway, from that to review time. Sorry about that little detour there. So let's talk about Scream 6. Like I said, it dropped in theaters on March 10th. It's currently sitting on the tomato meter with a 76%, not certified fresh, with over 200 reviews. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I do the What to Watch show on Rotten Tomatoes. And yesterday I was like, why the fuck is this not certified fresh yet? Because it had 113 reviews the day of embargo release on Thursday, and I was like, I was waiting for it to change. I was like, it's well above the minimum of like 80 reviews, above 75% to be the sun. So that's crazy. Till this morning, it's still not certified. I don't know.
But it's really
editorial team. What's going on?
Hey, RT, what's going on? Because you certified fresh Creed 2 after Creed 3 after 80 reviews.
Yeah,
and it was at 90, and it's dropped like 4 or 5% since then. I don't get.
I'm sure it's a bug. But clearly, based on 200 reviews, 78. I mean, that's wow.
213 reviews.
I want to call it or whatever. That's more than needed. I'll say that it's certified fresh, baby. It's certified fresh.
All right, so certified fresh, hopefully at 76%. And its audience score is high, Ed. It's at 93%.
Hi.
So really quick, Ed had never seen any Scream movies before 2 days ago.
No.
Really. So Ed is a champ. We'll put that in quotes. Champ.
Thank you.
Michael B. Jordan watched Scream 1, 2, 3, 4, and Scream 5, just called Scream, back to back, all before watching Scream 6. So all of it's really fresh in his head.
Very fresh.
So, Ed, before we jump into the full review, I want to get your franchise review of Scream. Why don't we do that? Okay. And tell me which one is your favorite. So before Scream 6.
Okay. My favorite for sure, I think the best one is Scream 2. That was probably overall, I think the franchise does a good job of staying where it needs to be. I wouldn't call this one of the top franchises of all time, nor is it anywhere near the worst. It's actually really good at keeping at where it is. It's one of the most consistent, I think, of any franchise, particularly for how far it's gone. Every movie is a Scream movie, and it's, I would say, even 3, which I think is considered the worst one, is rotten at 40-something%. I didn't hate it. I thought it was fine. It's fine, but I don't hate it. It's not great. But I think Scream 2 is like the shining gem of the franchise. It's not just good, it's great, because the story's phenomenal, the performances, the pacing, the filmmaking. I thought it was just really probably the funnest time I've ever had in a slasher movie. And it's wonderful. It really is. And then Scream 1, I can see it's one of those things where it's like, it's iconic, I get it, but it has some two fixed some problems that I think the first one had. But it's also great. I like it. I understood what it was all about. It sets the tone. It set everything up. I get that. 3 was weird. 4 was, I thought, the weakest.
I agree.
I don't understand. Agree. Yeah, I don't understand why that is like 6. I mean, it is considered, I guess, the second worst, which is not too far. But I thought that was definitely the worst one. I was surprised at how hollow that felt compared to even the third one, which I thought was getting pretty stale and hollow too. But then 5 comes along. Wow, I was like, whoa, okay, got a little bit of energy still in this franchise. I was like, that's pretty nice. I like that. And again, overall, I think what's really great about the franchise is that, unlike most slashers, what it nails most of the time is the characters. I think that's really what you care about most of them. Like, you actually most people are expendable in other slasher films, and you mostly hate them. They're really fucking annoying.
Yeah.
But they do a good job, I think, every time giving us characters that you like them. Like, you kind of don't want them to die. They're just flamboyant enough and have enough personality where you go, okay, cool. I like you, and it takes you through the movie, and then all the the stupid tropes that it makes fun of, and that's another strong part of the thing is that it doesn't take itself too seriously because it's meta. It's like a completely meta,
super meta.
It's almost like a failsafe. Like, you can't really dock it points from that because it knows. So it's like, oh, okay, that was dumb, but you wanted it to be dumb, and like. There's a movie within a movie. Like, how am I supposed to fucking trash that?
The third movie. Well, so first of all, the second movie actually is so great because you're introduced and it's fucking. You're watching this opening scene of the first movie.
Yeah.
In the second movie.
So meta.
But it's Stab. It's not Scream. I was like, oh my god, it's so brilliant. It's insane.
It's so good.
My head hurts.
And it continues. Shit. It continues. It's like the movies are I didn't realize this, that the Stab movies is really what continues the whole franchise. I had no clue.
Right.
I didn't know that it was gonna like link all of them together. Yeah. And I thought, but that makes a lot of sense. Like by Scream 4, they were like Stab 8 or Stab 7. Yeah. I was like, oh shit. And
that opening is hilarious in Scream 4.
The Scream 4. Yeah. They nail a lot of the best parts of the movies, I think, in my opinion, are like the ending or the beginnings and the endings. They're like, because they're the most meta. They're the most like, trying to get you into them. Yeah. So I like those. Anyways, I'm a fan. I like the franchise now very much. Okay, it's not. I wouldn't call it one of my favorite franchises of all time, but I could easily watch this. These franchises
over and over again.
Yeah, just for fun.
I said at the top of the show, Ghostface Killer. He's my favorite slasher. I think mostly because like Scream came out 1990.
Oh my god, dude, 1996.
So yeah, like by the time I had watched it, I was probably like 9 or 10 years old.
I want to die.
Debatable.
You were 6.
No, I didn't watch it in 1996.
You didn't watch it in 1996.
No.
Sorry.
By the time I was like 9, so 9 or 10.
Gotcha.
Which might still be too young to be watching a Scream. You make your judgment. I don't care.
You're fine.
What it is, but by the time I watched it, I was like, man, these are funny. And then I started watching them as I got older, watched them again in college. I was like, oh man, these movies are really good. And again, you said it because like they just know what they are.
Yeah.
And they're okay being that super meta movie. Like Scream 3 is about a killer on the set of Stab 3 while it's being filmed at the same time. It's like
in the house, the
sets
of the house.
Like it's fucking that's clever.
It's like, dude. What the fuck? Yeah,
that's so super clever. And
it's super fun.
Yeah, so but I would agree Scream 2 is probably the strongest in my opinion.
Really good.
I think the Scream 5 really brought me back on board hardcore.
Sure.
They really got it right.
Yeah.
But yes, anyway, let's talk about the newest one that released, Scream 6. Now, this sees the characters of Scream 5, which they are Sam and Tara Carpenter as they move to... This car goes by as they move to New York City, and then of course good old Ghostface catches up with them again, and the killings start. Tara's in college, and she just wants to have her freedom with her friends Mindy and Chad, I believe are the twins' names.
Yes.
Yeah, Mindy and Chad. Yes. And then killings start happening, and shit hits the fan. That's all you need to know. So Ed. I mean, that's basically it.
Every Scream movie, really.
That's every Scream movie. Without giving away too much, that's it. So, what did you think of Scream 6?
All right, dude. I fucking loved this movie. I personally, I think it's the second best one. I think it's the second best one of the entire franchise.
I agree.
I actually think people are downplaying it a little. I'm like, you guys love it, but dude, this is top tier. This is some awesome shit. I mean, here's some of the, like, just really quickly, we'll get into it, but like why it is, dude, Ghostface is as scary as he's ever been.
Yeah.
Because he has so much ferocity in this one. This is what I loved about this one. The dude picks up a shotgun and just doesn't give a fuck. He's just nailing people like a GTA game. I'm like, holy shit. Wow. Yeah. I'm like, oh no, you're fucked this time, guys.
Yeah.
They bring that. Then the sister drama is really good. I think it has probably one of the stronger, just the dramatic thematic elements I thought were really, really strong. This is the first time I thought, they have a story for Tara and for Sam, who are in and of themselves great characters. They're very talk about empowered women who are just very strong but believable. They're awesome, but their sister drama is great. I mean, this is the first time in the franchise that you have a character like Tara who wants to move past this, who's just like, yeah, I'm gonna sleep with a guy, like fuck it, I'm gonna put myself in danger because there's no getting around this, and I'm not gonna let this take over my life.
Right.
I can't.
Right.
How am I gonna live I want a life, and you're not gonna get around danger. And I love that. That for that character. I thought it made so much sense, particularly for someone who is just kind of sideways tied to this because her sister's really Billy Loomis's father, and she's not. I'd be pissed too. I'd be like, fucking A, bro. Anyways, that was really strong. I think I had the second best opening in the franchise. I love the opening.
I disagree. I think it's the best opening of the franchise.
Okay. Hey,
it's the best opening. That's
I wouldn't fight that. I wouldn't fight that because
that's how you start a movie. That's how
the first one I try to give points for its iconic, because it kind of builds off that. But at the same time, I don't hate that. I think it is probably maybe the best one. I think
it's the best.
So it's all good. The ghost fight encounter is all good, dude. So good. It's so good. It's so good. It's one of the best ones up there. What do you agree? What's your?
I absolutely agree. It's a wonderful Scream movie.
So good, dude.
I think there's hardcore Scream fans out there that have some issues with it here and there. But for me, I love the reveal. I love the little twist and how it connects to Scream 5. I think you said it so well when you said it's nice to have Tara be that girl that just wants to have her life, that danger is going to happen, because it really works well with Sam's kind of conflicting story. I can't get over my trauma. Well, you are just ignoring it. And, it's almost kind of saying there's a happy middle ground where we can meet, that both of us mentally can meet. I love the return of Billy again. Because there's moments where he says, "You really trust that bitch? Yeah. Clear this place yourself. Get a weapon." Sam's a badass. So cool. She's so cool, man. She's so tough. She's so strong. I love Josh Segura. Josh Segura is one of my favorite underrated actors out there.
Which one's Josh Segura?
Her boyfriend.
Oh yeah, he's the dude in She-Hulk, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I'm like, I know that face.
Please,
I know that face.
For anybody that knows Josh Segura from She-Hulk, please go watch season 5 of Arrow. He is the villain of Arrow, and he is so fantastic. I probably just gave that away if you haven't seen it. Sorry.
Oh, that was okay.
He's not the villain. He's a person in Arrow. Just go watch Arrow season 5. He's such an underrated actor, and I loved him in the movie.
He's great.
The twist was good. And again, I have to agree with you. They ratchet up Ghostface in this to a great level. And I think part of it's that sound design when he has the shotgun, it's going off. And then when he's breaking through the door to kill, Quinn, I think was her name.
Yeah, Quinn.
It's just like so good. The scene I loved so much, it was in the trailers, is when he shows up at the psychiatrist's house and then he steps into frame and you see the mask. I was like, that's
dope.
A legit creepy / a dope shot. So yeah, I agree with you, man. It's everything you want in a Scream movie. It is everything. A fun ass ride from beginning to end. I just loved it. So let's get into it. Let's get into some of the best parts, and then we'll get into things we didn't like about the movie. So
okay.
For you, what were the best parts of this movie?
Well, I already mentioned one, which was the opening.
Yeah, let's talk about the opening. Let's
talk about the opening because it's excellent. Because it's the last couple of openings have been fine. Nothing. They're okay. I think the last one was probably up there too as one of the better ones, just because
it repeats the first.
Yeah, it repeats the first. And Jenna Ortega's really great.
Yes, fantastic actress.
But this one's awesome because, and we're gonna. Okay, if you haven't seen the movie, spoilers.
Spoilers start here.
Yeah, spoilers start here. Okay. How could you not like the fact that we think we're being introduced to like not only the new Scream killer, but possibly two, and then to have that be tipped on our heads when you find out that, oh no, these weren't the main killers at all. The real Ghostface of this comes out and kills them. I'm like, that's so cool. They haven't done like I think an original, sort of very fresh take on the opening in a long time, and that what a great way to subvert your expectations but also give something new. Samara Weaving's in it, who is like looking up to be one of the better screen queens again of this generation. She's awesome. She dies soon, which I was kind of disappointed with, but at the same time, what a great opening. And again, it just showed how visceral this Ghostface was from the get-go. Like this is not the same person. Like he's in the like the other masks. Like typically it's someone who's lanky or not very physically strong. But this one felt like, oh shit, is OJ under there? Like what the fuck? Like who's Michael under Myers. There? Yeah, he felt like Michael Myers. Like there's no way you're gonna get this guy. You're not physically gonna once he catches up to you, you're done. And it really did feel that way for most of for most of them. Which again, overall, I think one of the best parts in general is just every time a Ghostface encounter, some of the best parts of the movie is just every time you just don't know. You really don't know this time who's going to get away. And because like once he catches you, the next best one, I'll let you go on this because I can go on forever about every Ghostface encounter. But the next one was the one with the ladder what a great that was. I don't know why it takes so long for the franchise to do a little bit more than the typical running through the door and like stopping. A simple ladder gag was like, my heart was pounding. I was like, oh my God, like, is she going to live or not? It's the first time in a long time in a Scream movie where I was like, oh my God, I don't know if this chick is going to live. And I loved it. I love that stuff. So they do a good job with the tension. Better than most. What are some of yours?
Going back to the opening, I can like, for me, the second I was in, like so far in, like I was like when he reveals himself, when he takes off his mask and you know who the killer is, I was like,
first time.
Did they just reveal the killer for the rest of the movie?
Right.
Like, is this guy in the rest of the movie? And then he gets to his house. Like there were so many elements to that because he sees Tara walking back, and I was like, oh my God, they pulled the rug under us, man. They revealed the killer in the first 2 minutes of the movie. This is amazing. We know who it is. That's just gonna ratchet up even more. And then they just, oh man. Then the actual Ghostface of the story comes in and starts, fucking with him. And that scene just plays out so good. The tension's just so good.
Yeah.
And
you think too that the guy that it is his friend. His friend's gonna betray him, and he's the new Ghostface. And then they pull it out of the rug from you again. I loved it. It's so good.
And then he says warmer, and when he stops at the fridge, I was like, he stopped from opening
No,
the fridge.
I'm like, oh shit, it's not him.
I was like, oh no. And then you see him
it.
with the head, and then he pops out behind him. Oh, that was all so well done.
Oh, so well done. So exciting. So exciting.
This is the same director crew that did the Scream 5, the reboot. Requel.
The requel.
Yes, which is
Mindy says.
Yeah, Mindy. Which the two guys are Matt Benelan. I don't know how to say his name.
Good luck.
Tyler Gillett and Matt Bettolini. Bettolini. Betta is what I would say. Bettolini.
One of my favorite things is to see you try to work out a name. I'm not gonna lie. It's awesome.
3 idiots.
Because you rarely ever get it right.
I never get them right. I don't get Mexican names right. I don't get American names right. I'm definitely not getting any of these Indian names right, and I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I'm just not good at it. Ed should know that I should be happy I remember his name.
I was gonna ask you. Did you get my name right when you first saw it?
No, I asked you because I didn't want to offend you.
Oh, good, nice.
I asked you, but I was like, Ed.
Knowing you now, I wish I had let you try.
Yeah, you should have let me try because you would have laughed really hard.
Oh, hell yeah, I would have.
Yeah, but anyway, that's fine. No, so back to Scream 6. So another thing I loved about it is something I love about these movies in general is when they go over the rules. Every one of these movies has that scene, and they're all in the park. And so this isn't just a requel. This is a franchise, which means no one is safe, not even us. So yeah, I really liked that whole aspect of it. That's one of my favorite scenes in any Scream movie. Another thing is, I think these movies have been able to succeed, these last two, because they have found a cast of characters that really do work. And they hint at it in the movie when he calls themselves the Core Four. And it works because the twins. And you have the twins, you have two sets of siblings.
Yeah, two sets of siblings.
Yes. And it all just it works so well. And they're there looking out for each other. And makes me worried about what happens in the next movie, because I think this movie is going to go on to gross, it's going to gross 20 million more than they thought it was originally going to gross.
Good.
Which, yes, wonderful news for all around. But yeah, I think that's probably my favorite parts of the movie, the opening and just the cast, that they've really gotten this casting correct and right.
Yeah.
It was nice to see Kirby again. That was really great. Also,
Hayden
kind of hair in anything.
Also, how old is Hayden? Is she really 30?
I think she's like 30. Yeah.
Is she? Because why the fuck does she have why does she look like she's 50 with Botox? That's what I was curious 33. About. What the fuck? Why did she got so much shit on her face already? She's a beautiful girl. That was the only thing I was thinking about. Like, I think you're 30, but you look like someone who's, you know what I mean? Like she's already 45 or 50 and she's gotten way too much Botox. Anyways, she's great, but I was like, you look a little weird to be 30. Anyway.
I mean, all these girls do a lot of.
What's up with that?
Way too much.
She looked more like Courtney Cox than she did like Samantha or what's her actual name? I forget her name. But Sam, the girls who play Sam. Like Melissa. They should be Melissa. They should be closer in age to look like than fucking thing does. Because I
actually think Melissa's older than her.
Is that true?
And she looks.
That's hilarious.
Better than her.
That's hilarious because she looks like she's like a cougar in her 50s. But
she's 32. She's
oh my god, Hayden, you're a beautiful woman. Stop with the Botox. You're great. But anyways, her character's also great. Her character is also great.
And yeah, I think that it does seem that a lot had to a lot of coincidences had to happen in the last 15 minutes for it to come together.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the reveal. So it's revealed that the killers in this one are what's his name from the first movie? Richie's family, which from Scream, Richie was Melissa's Sam's boyfriend.
Love interest, as they say.
Love interest, who was the Scream killer. Who's Ghostface in Scream 5.
The love interest.
So in this Scream 6, it's Richie's family, which harkens back to Scream 2, which is why this movie works so well.
Yeah.
You had the family, whole family revenge element of Richie's dad, who's an NYPD cop, who really, really should just win Bad Dad of the Year award. It's just like, what the fuck kind of twisted ass shit. He bought this dude Richie so much shit. But it's the dad, the sister Quinn, who fakes her death, and her brother. I can't even remember the brother's name because he has like 4 lines.
Yeah, I don't remember.
The brother. Let me look for his.
I think I have it here. Wait, Ethan. Yeah,
Ethan. It's revealed that they are the Scream
Jack Champion,
the Ghostface killers, to basically get revenge on Sam for stopping her brother, I guess, her boyfriend, and killing him. Even though her boyfriend was a psychopath and was killing everybody in fucking Woodsboro, they just forget all that. That doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Not in this game.
But the rest is fine. So anyway, that's the reveal. So what do you think of the reveal this time around?
Yeah, I thought it was good. I liked it. Yeah. I think narratively speaking, it made a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. And the one reason I liked it more was because I actually figured it out before the end. Well, not every single one. I knew that this killer was the NYPD or the cop. I mostly because I'm like, look, the guy picked up a shotgun. Not only is he the most physically imposing person in the whole story that we've met, but he picks up a shotgun like he's been using it forever. Yeah. And look, think back to any of the other killers we've had. They're not that savvy. They're just normal people. Yeah. But the moment he picks up that gun and he knows exactly what to do with it, I'm like, who else could possibly fucking know their way around a gun that well? And I'm like, it has to be him. It has to.
The only other guy was Josh Segura, but I was like, there's no way they're going to do the boyfriend.
Yeah, the boyfriend. I mean, boyfriend twice in a row. It's too much.
Because he's big and he's got that broad
chest. He's the only other person I thought too. But, but I mean, it just kind of made sense. They went Peter Cop. And then the moment they made it to the theater, and they were like, I was thinking too, I was like, how did they get this? How did they get all the shit? And then one of them says, well, only the cops could have someone in what do you call it? They call it, what's all that called? Evidence goes missing all the time. Yeah. And I'm like, then fucking A, it's gotta be this guy. Like, there's no other way. So I liked it because I was like, I caught on. It's not that I'm saying that it was a bad reveal, or it was easy to guess. I don't think it was easy to guess. But I was like, oh yeah, got it. It was the first time I was like, yeah, I got it. Yeah, so I liked that. And then I was like, we didn't see really Quinn actually get stabbed. So I was like, okay, it's probably, the dad at the very least. But then I found out it was the two too. I was like, oh shit, okay. Fucking A. Pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. I thought the twist or the reveal was, I thought it worked. Again, the family thing works out, and then as soon as he starts to explain everything, that's when you realized how effed up all these killers are.
I'm like, they're always effed up, man.
Yeah, they're so effed up.
It's so fucked up.
So
and
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, oh fuck! I lost my train of thought. Sorry, keep going. No, lost my train of thought. I'll find it.
That's right. No, but the reveal works. Again, you do have to get a lot of coincidences have to happen, but that's okay. I think that's
it moves fast enough you don't even fucking notice it.
Exactly, it moves so quick you don't even notice it.
Yeah.
That to me was really, really a fun little twist, and it just reminded me so much of Scream 2. And I think it reminded me so much of Scream 2 because we had talked about it the day before. We talked about Scream 2 the day before and how much you had liked that movie. And so I think that's why I enjoyed it so much. And that whole final sequence and fight, I really enjoyed that.
Awesome too. Yeah. Every Ghostface encounter is excellent in this. Even the one with Gail. Where the way she uses what do you call it? Caller ID or whatever when you call back the number.
Star 69.
Star 69. Like, what the fuck? And the first time in the franchise that's been used, and I'm like, that's fucking brilliant.
Dude,
hold. And he goes,
can you hold? Yes, can you hold?
And he goes, what? Dude, big laugh. And I was like, that's
because you don't ever
how brilliant.
See that. Yeah.
No, you don't. It's taken 25 years for them to do a gag like that. Yeah. And I'm just glad they did it because it was so smart too. I mean, it's just that's so smart.
What Gail would do because
it's what Gail would do.
Gail is the fucking worst, but she's also smart.
Yeah. She's the worst, but she's smart.
You should hate her character. But she is smart and savvy, and look, I'm glad she didn't die in this one.
Yeah, me too.
But I love that gag, man. Can you hold for a second?
Yeah.
What?
And he goes, "What?"
And then you hear the guy go, "Oh."
Yeah. He wasn't expecting it. I was like, I love that. Like she was by the way, she still had a landline. Let's just acknowledge that. 2023 still had a landline in a nice ass apartment.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Landlines are important. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I guess
cell towers go down. Landlines are important.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think I picked up a landline with my bare hands in like 10 years.
I had a landline in my apartment.
You did?
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy. Are you a fucking Ghostface killer? What is wrong with you?
Come on. I couldn't hurt it to fly.
That's fucking crazy.
I had a landline.
Please tell me in the comments if anybody still has a landline who's not in their original home. I need to know. I need to know if that's still a fucking thing. I just didn't know.
I had a landline, man.
That's wild.
It was like a bundle with AT&T Uverse.
AT&T still giving out fucking landlines with their shit?
Dead now, but yeah.
That's probably it. I haven't had cable in like 15 years, so that's probably
dude, I remember I'm a big sports guy. So for me,
so
cable was a must for me.
But still, man, I don't know. Landlines. I just haven't seen one in a while. Anyways, I'd be curious. Anyways, do you want to move on? Do you have any other good things you like?
Yes, one thing we haven't talked about.
Let's do it.
That the fucking tension-filled subway scene.
Yeah.
That was so.
I mean, bro, brilliant. What scene is bad in this movie? Man?
Everything's so well done.
There's not one blank scene.
Ed, this movie did not start production till September of
last year.
That's like, there's no amazing special effects. There's nothing. Just again, if you do it well, it won't matter. Your budget doesn't matter. Just do it well.
Oh my God.
Just do it well. Good. I was
great
my
direction.
hands started sweating. I was like,
incredible direction from the guys. It's just wow, really good. I mean, again, it's such a plain scene. It's just most of that scene is just them standing around, just wondering, and it's just like nothing really happens at all. There's no big movements, but it's just so tense. And like just when it goes to black and it keeps going closer and closer. I wish she was smarter though. Which one? She should, Mindy.
Okay.
She should have fucking screamed early on. Like she should have just screamed that way. That way people go in a rut and then she could escape. But whatever, it's fine.
It's fine.
I still like the payoff. She lives, so it's fine. But what a great scene.
To me, that subway scene was fantastic. I love that all of that. Watching him get closer and further and closer. I loved it. I was like,
it's so good. Cool. And that's the thing, right? It's like we've seen that before. Like that's not a new thing to use the shadows to make a thing. But for some reason, they do it better. They just did it better. Yeah. We can break that thing down, but it's so good.
That is so good. I loved it. Loved every bit about.
I think it's scene. I think that actually was a setup. The setup's good. Oh, shit, my bad.
Mic just fell. Anyway,
mic drop.
Mic drop. So any other big scenes you really liked in it?
I mean, honestly, I think we covered all the big ones. But they're all good. That's the thing. Yeah. They're all just freaking solid, man. It's just such a great time in the theater.
It is a wonderful, fun time. And
I think
again, all the movies we've had a lot of fun with this year, they have just remember the one thing: just have fun.
Yeah, just have fun.
Just have fun. This movie, reminded me how disappointing Halloween Ends was. Because this movie nailed it from beginning to end, and Halloween Ends had that beginning where, obviously
I agree.
You and I loved the beginning.
The beginning's incredible. The beginning's awesome, man. It is.
Of that,
it's so
good. If you stick with that idea, how but
it could have been so much more. Yeah.
And this movie turns the beginning on its head too.
Very solid.
Lands the plane.
There's one thing one more last thing I want to mention that I just really appreciated. I thought that made the main character so much more interesting. Oh, it stems from the last one, but again, Sam, she's so much more interesting because I think they start off with that scene with her in therapy. That's a great scene too because she's saying something felt right about murdering someone, and I was like, oh shit, what the fuck are they trying to do with her here? Like,
yeah. Oh, there's.
Hey, I get it, man. I get those times where I just want to like, like run my keys across someone's car. You killed someone, so it's not the same thing.
Not the same.
But I can tell how it feels kind of good. I can kind of see that. Not the same level.
Not the same at all. Holy shit. What are you talking about? You said
no, it's about it's about getting revenge on someone who's been fucking with you. That's what I'm getting at, It's what I'm getting at. And so I can extrapolate that in my head about,
I'm glad you elaborated, because when you started going into that, like, I get that feeling too. And I'm like, maybe I'm like this therapist in the movie where I have to report you to the authorities.
When I'm making lechon, man, and I'm just like cutting into the pig, I get this like, wow, I wish I killed that pig.
Filipino thing I've ever heard.
It is very, anyways, I love that scene. I thought that brought so much more layers to her, even more so than Sydney, who I love Sydney, but that's just such a darker and just more interesting.
Sam is better than Sydney.
I'm not, to his their own. I just like her story. Her story is just really interesting. Anyway, so and it ends the movie where she took the mask with her. She's looking at it, and I'm going,
what are they setting up?
What's Scream 6 about? And she lets it fall, and that's good. I don't want her necessarily to be the next Ghostface. I think that's a little too much. But I still I like that they're just hinting that we're all a little bit not fully just good, right? Like we have these animalistic instincts that are all, for better or for worse, whether it's I think for her it's survival.
Right.
And in this case, what I love about her, if you want to talk about changing stereotypes, she's a protector. Not every man has to be a protector. She's a fucking protector. She will do what she has to save her sister, man. And I fucking felt that. Like that's what you got to do.
She's not going to let you know how hard it's been to be a woman in this modern world.
She's
just going to fucking do it.
There is not one line about that.
There's no
about how she's a woman. And I have to deal with. Yeah, she's a good character. She's dealt with things that everyone deals with, and it's how she deals with it that we can relate to, and that should uplift us about being a good person. Anyways, dude, she's a great character. I love her.
Final good point about the movie. I completely agree with you. Sam is the perfect lead for this new generation of Scream.
I agree with that,
because she is not just the final girl like Sydney. She is so layered, and she's connected to the Ghostface mask in more than one way.
Correct.
It's literally in her blood, and that's what makes Sam the perfect lead to, take you into Scream 7, which I'm sure we'll get. Who knows? I know. Unfortunately, I know the directors have to go direct the new a legacy sequel to Escape from New York. I don't know what that will be, but they have been signed on to that, and they have delayed it to do Scream 6. I don't know if they'll have the same opportunity again to do Scream 7. Scream 1 and Scream 2 came out just like this, 1 year after each other. I would like to see Scream 7 within the next year and a half, because it is going to be high on everybody's lists, and it is right now it's the best slasher we got. Halloween's dead. Jason is stuck in legal hell, essentially. I think. I don't know what's going on with that.
What I do know is that has been reverted back, though. The rights were reverted.
Oh, really?
Back.
I didn't see that.
Again, I don't know, if there is contention, but that was the agreement.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, dope. Well, maybe we'll see a new Friday the 13th. I don't know, but yeah, I would like to see Scream 7 sooner rather than later. But at the same time,
they're so good that whatever you guys, your next movie, I'm in. Yeah. So Escape from New York, pretty cool.
Yeah, these guys know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing.
This is the something about Halloween movies, something about horror movies is just such a good vessel for young directors to start in. It's not a drama, not anything. Before you get to
that's
all
so
that
interesting.
Stuff, horror movies seem to be a great genre for young directors to jump into and get their feet wet in big.
The soil is fertile. It's the most fertile soil in Hollywood. I don't know what it is, but what you know what it is? Part of it, the big one, is that it's cheap. It's one of the cheapest things to do. It's not a big risk on new directors. Big
Very
one.
True. Very
true.
That's
I know it's that's have it. Also, I wanted to point out, if we want to talk about things that I want to see these guys do, and just to bring it back to the Big Apple, I would love to see them take on if this is still alive, a Cloverfield movie. They would fucking kill a next Cloverfield movie. I think I love that franchise, even though they basically died with Paradox. But I hope if they one day that I still have hope that that's not completely dead, and that these guys would be great to take that on.
Yeah, before we get into things we didn't like, one last thing. Like, I'm very happy this is going to do as well as it's going to do at the box office, and to hear Dungeons and Dragons and Mission Impossible. Like, to hear all those movies are doing really well so far in testing and screenings, and now box office wise, again, 20 million over box office projections. When Creed ended on Monday as the box office champ this past Monday, the first projection said Creed 3 is going to beat Scream 4, and then Scream 4 has come out. Scream 6, has come out
for April openings.
No,
for March openings.
They said it was going to beat it this weekend at its
at the weekend. Yeah. Okay, got it.
They thought it was going to make like 24 million. It turns out it's going to gross about 42 to 60 million.
Fuck yeah!
So like, this is great, and I'm happy that one of the last old actual studios that's still alive, not owned by anybody else, is having a good year. It's nice.
Me too. And I think they've been pretty smart, because they're not in the. I feel like they've stayed. They haven't. Well, that, and they haven't really like been in the circle of sort of like the bigger studios lately, right? Like WB, Universal, the big ones. Yeah. And they sort of been doing. They're like the Nintendo. They just sort of been doing. They're on the side. They're there,
that's brilliant.
And they're doing their own thing. They're trying to fit. They're letting the other people play and see where they can fit. Yeah. And hey, it's paying off.
Yeah, because they're sticking to old school Hollywood.
They're doing their best. They're doing their best, and it's working.
Scary.
It's working. Yeah,
it's great. Okay, so now let's talk about a couple things we didn't like. Is there stuff you didn't like about this movie? I have. Like,
it's very. I mean, you big things. I don't have anything big. I don't have anything big at all. I really have no complaints. I really enjoyed it. If I had to nitpick, I mean, really, honestly, it's like, I guess one thing is that it's not as funny, I think, as like some of the other ones. Like, I didn't, but the thing is, it doesn't have to it's not a hit. I hate saying it, because it's like, but I did, Scream 2, there's a lot of like, I thought Scream 2 was pretty funny. There's a lot of good parts where I like genuinely laughed. This one doesn't have that, but at the same time, it's taken a more serious approach. It has a more serious story. So I guess I didn't need it. So I don't know if that's not even a criticism, but it's just not as funny as some of the other ones, but whatever, that's fine. And then the other thing is that I like the new characters. Don't get me wrong. I do like the new characters. However, I don't see anybody particularly as like the new Dewey or the new Gale. I think Mindy and Chad, I like them a lot. But in terms of like their characterization,
they're just Randy.
Exactly. In the original, every character had their sort of thing. Role. You knew what they were very distinctly. I don't know if they have that same sort of dynamic at the same level. But again, I don't know if I'd care yet if Chad and Mindy, they will be legacy characters one day. If like they will have the same impact as I see when I saw Dewey and Gale, or like when Dewey died, I felt that really fucking sucked. And I thought Gale was going to die, or that really fucking sucked.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll be those characters. So again, not really a hit, just like a little minor. I'm like, not the same, but it's fine. They're good. I like them. And I'd like to see on the next one. There's not a hit on this movie. The next one, I kind of would hope to see maybe a little bit more interesting reveal motivation.
Yeah.
Something a little more outside it's family and like, I hope it's just not the same exact thing.
Nice. So I do think that I completely agree. That was going to be one of my gripes, is like, I think we're getting to the point where the reveal formula is getting a little stale. 6 movies in, like either they want to be superstars, or they want to like justify this silly stab franchise to revive it, to give it a new story, or they have revenge. I want to see something fresh. I want to see a killer off the rails, just because maybe, when somebody, I like, how creepy that would be, a Ghostface killer saying, "Why are you targeting us?" And he goes, "Well, why wouldn't I target you?"
Right.
Because you guys are.
That's so sick.
I kill you guys. I'm the new Ghostface.
Yeah.
someone just wants to be Ghostface just to be Ghostface. I think there's something there that's like scary, similar to like Halloween Ends.
Right.
The thought of Jason is scarier than the thought of Michael's actually scarier than Michael.
I like it.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool. That's something I would like as well. And then for me, I do agree about I felt Dewey being missed. Like Chad tries to be that like alpha kind of male, but really I think I was okay with Dewey not being there at the end because Sam is kind of Sid and Dewey mixed.
Sure.
She is the final girl, but she's also the protector of this group. She's the person that feels the responsibility. I have to keep my sister, but also I have to keep the core four safe because I care about them. Though they are my family.
Yeah.
So I think that's why by the end of it, I was okay with it. And
it's a great point. You're right. I am okay with it too. Ultimately, it's not a big deal to me. Right. It's just a little, it's just when you see Dewey as a character is iconic. Like, right. Like you know these people because of who they are. And again, it's not like every movie has to do that. It's just a observation, I guess, at this point.
I agree. And then lastly, the only thing that really annoyed me about this movie, how the fuck did Chad live? Like, I literally was like, what the fuck? I thought
like
he was
15
dead.
times.
He got stabbed like 15 times.
Yeah.
They were literally just going in on him. And I was like, wait, this motherfucker is alive.
He's a jock.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Jock. That's true.
He's a jock. But bro, these knives are fucking this long.
Yeah.
Even you're right. I don't have an argument for you. Like
organ, you're dying.
You're dying.
Something important is getting hit.
You're for sure dying. Bro.
Yeah, you're for sure dead. They definitely kept them so they can kill him in the next one.
Someone's gonna die. Someone in the core four is gonna die for sure.
One of these core four is gonna die. So anyway, I think that's it for Scream 6. Is there anything you'd like to see in Scream 7? Would you like to see Sam become the killer? Would you like to see Tara become the killer? Would you like to see a new location? What would be the dream location?
Ooh. You know what? So, I mean, obviously they toyed with the idea of Tara or Sam being the killer this time, right? And I don't know, man. I think it would ruin what they've built, though. No, I don't want to see that because I love them. I love their dynamic.
Yeah.
I'll say...
I agree.
I'll say this. Whatever they do, as long as they do it together. Whatever they do, as long as they do it together, I might be down. I won't say no that they shouldn't be killers.
Yeah.
Perhaps, I would think they were teasing that perhaps they become killers for good. You know what I'm saying? Like there's maybe, maybe that's what they do. But maybe they're probably not. But anyways, maybe I would say that. In terms of a new location? Yeah, I mean, I like the change of New York. Obviously, I think we're done. I think we're done with Woodsboro, man. Like,
so dynamic to be in New York, dude. It really elevated this so much.
Again, like, well, even just like geographically, the use of the subway, right? If they go to new places, they can use certain elements of that place to make up some interesting scare. Even the idea of the two apartment buildings. That's how New York apartments are. It's really one of the only places you could have that sequence. So I thought that was brilliant, like maybe that's what inspired that sequence for all I know. So I thought that was smart. So stuff like, absolutely. Where would I want it? I don't know. I haven't thought of that. How about you? You thought of it? Where would you want to see it? Let's go somewhere wet. Let's have rain more. I don't think it's rained enough in Scream.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Have you seen or snow? Snow? You haven't seen snow? Let's change the elements, bruh.
Yeah. Let's put it during Christmas.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Go to holiday. Colorado or something.
Thanksgiving. You can do Thanksgiving too.
Bonkers. Yeah, I don't know where I would like to see it, but I would like it because I agree with you. I think it really helped elevate the story in this. Like the city was part of this, like really part of
a bit of a character.
Yeah, a bit of the character. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So like for me, I would like to see it somewhere else. Be it London.
Ooh, Europe. Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere in London. Like again, like the idea of somebody stalking these two and framing them for something works well. But again, I think you don't even have to go that far. It could just be a straight psychopath.
Yeah.
I just
I agree with you.
Because why wouldn't I want to?
Yeah, like the Joker just wants to watch the world burn.
Just wants to see the world burn. I like that.
Just wants to kill people. I don't know.
There's something there.
I think so.
Yeah, but yeah, that's it. Scream 6 review. My favorite of the franchise. This is my favorite movie.
This is your number one.
This is my number one.
I don't blame you.
Yeah,
it's really like a 2 and it's like 2 and 6 at this point where I'm like, damn, I really enjoyed both of those. You know, they're both very strong.
It is by far the strongest on the audience score. Like, by far. It is Scream 5 is 82% on the audience score. Scream 6 is currently 93%.
Wow.
I think a lot of people enjoy it.
That's really freaking high, man.
Yeah. Fix your camera. So yeah. Anyway, that's our Scream 6 review. Thank you so much for watching, listening, subscribing, and commenting. If you haven't, drop a like, drop a sub. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
Send Ed a message.
Send